Windows 10 is coming to an end. It'll be here before you know it, and depending on when you're watching this video, it might have already happened. If you're already on Windows 11, Recall is installed and enabled, more than likely running in the background without you even knowing it. I'm going to show you how to disable it, but also I'm going to show you how to make a cleaner Windows 11 installation media if you are on Windows 10 and you're going to upgrade to Windows 11, because not all of us can just quit using Windows. I personally need it for DaVinci Resolve. And yes, you can have DaVinci Resolve on Linux. However, you don't have access to the AAC audio codec. And they're not going to switch over to FFmpeg for their encoding option for DaVinci Resolve anytime soon that I'm aware of. If they are, that would be awesome. Then I don't have to use Windows. Besides DaVinci Resolve, there's others out there that have productivity software, accounting software that is not going to work on Linux, no matter what. Wine just isn't there on Linux to run all these different accounting software or productivity software like Adobe if people are still tied to those things. If you've got QuickBooks or TurboTax or any of that stuff, it's going to force you to upgrade from Windows 10 to Windows 11 whenever you do your taxes in 2026. So be aware of that if you aren't already. You will have to jump from 10 to 11. I'm going to show you how to make a safe installation ISO for Windows 11 using the ChrisTitus winutil. I'm also going to show you a couple of easy commands to see if Recall is already enabled on your system. If you're on Windows 10, it doesn't look like it's hit it as of recording this video. So let's go ahead and I'm going to show you a couple of different sites. So the first site is the ChrisTitusTech winutil GitHub. And I'll have these commands listed in the description below, so you can copy and paste them, but they're right here. You're just going to run the stable branch, and this is going to be ran inside your PowerShell. I've installed OpenShell for my start button, so your start button might look a little different. I'm going to go into PowerShell, and I'm going to run it as administrator. And we're going to take this command. We're just going to copy and paste it in there, press enter. You can go ahead and maximize this if you want to see what's going on in the background. But it's going to have a graphical user interface. Now, before you get too overloaded in this, first off, we're going to go to tweaks. In the tweaks section, I want you to go ahead and select standard. Through here, you can kind of just go through if you want to uncheck some of these, but these are all what you're going to want. You're definitely going to want to check the box that says disable recall. I'm currently on Windows 10, so Recall isn't installed, but you can go ahead and check it even if you are on Windows 10. And you can get rid of all kinds of other bullshit like the Bing start. Another thing that I would do is I would disable IP6. IP6 has had vulnerabilities. Earlier this year, if you're on small business or a home network, you do not need IP6. Also, if you're going to be running like a Pi-hole to block ads and things on a Roku, you're going to want to disable IP6 on your network because Roku will try and circumvent your DNS that you set for it. If it can't contact its ad service, it'll go around your Pi-hole or any of your ad blockers and jump through using IP6. So disable IP6. Like I also said, it does have security vulnerabilities. I don't know if all of them have been patched yet, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Stick on IP4. And then let's see what else we got down here. Anything notable? Oh, definitely if you're on Windows 11, take that right click back. Where if you're on your Windows 11 desktop and you right click, you don't have, oh, new, it says more, and then you have to go to these options. It adds extra steps on Windows 11. It's totally fucking stupid. This will give that back. This will give that functionality back. And you can just kind of read through here if any of that pertains to you. OneDrive, get rid of OneDrive, you know. And if you don't know what any of it is, there's a little question mark that if you click on it, it will explain to you what the script is doing and what it's taking out. If you're not sure exactly what to check and what to uncheck, definitely Microsoft Copilot, check that, get rid of that. You don't want that crap. If you run Adobe products, you're probably going to need the crappy Adobe bloatware that it has, but if not, you can just check those, get rid of any kind of pre-installed Microsoft Adobe bullshit. All the Microsoft Store apps, it says not recommended, so I would follow their advice. Don't remove the Microsoft Store apps. You can give it a try, but you might have to reload your computer. The rest of these options are just going to be personal preference. I would debloat Brave if you use the Brave browser. And I don't know why you would use Microsoft Edge, but if you use it, debloat it right there. You don't necessarily have to do the disk cleanup. It's just good practice to go ahead and do it. And the rest of it, like I said, if you don't know what it is, you can click on the little question mark and it will tell you what's going on. And these over here is just customization preferences, what you like, what you don't like. You're not going to break anything on this side. Over here, if it says not recommended, skip it if you don't know what you're doing. And all you do is hit run tweaks. I'll go ahead and put this back up in the background so you can see what it's doing. We hit run tweaks. Going to start running these scripts in the background. All right, and the tweaks are finished. On my system, it took about 3 or 4 minutes. The next thing we're going to do is go to updates, and I want you to set this to security settings because you only want the security updates. You don't want all the bullshit they try to enroll you in without you knowing. You only want important security updates. And that's all you need to do if you already have Windows 11 installed, or if you're on Windows 10 and wanted to clean it up as well. The next thing I'm going to show you is how to use the micro-win tool to make a safe installation ISO file. So you can make a USB flash drive with Windows 11 already stripped of all this telemetry bullshit and all their little add-ons. They just stuff all those third-party apps that you don't want. This tool is going to strip all that out for you. What you will need before we use this utility is to come over to the Windows 11 download page from Microsoft.com. I'll link this in the description as well. You'll want to come down here where it says download Windows 11 image ISO. You're going to more than likely only have this one selection. Select that. And then you will select the language that you want. Hit confirm. It'll give you the installation ISO. I have already downloaded this to save time in the video. If you're wondering about my start button, that is the OpenShell start button. You can get it from Ninite.com. Ninite's really badass. Like if you reload Windows and you have to install a bunch of default apps, or if you just want to keep all these apps up to date, it gives you an easy to use installer. This is 100% free as well. You can just select all the different packages that you want installed. Over here is OpenShell. You get your Ninite. It runs an exe file. It downloads everything you selected and it installs it without all kinds of different pop-ups. So you don't have to go in and install all the different things that you want one by one if you've got a fresh computer. If you're reinstalling Windows 11 from scratch with the ISO, this is a great utility to use to get you back up and running with all your basic software. That out of the way, we'll come back over to the Win utility. We're going to leave that checked as default. We are going to use select your own ISO and get Windows ISO. This is where you select the ISO you downloaded from Microsoft. I don't know where you saved it to. I saved mine to my desktop. Yours might be in your downloads. It's just saying that this utility wasn't found on my system, so it's just downloading it from its GitHub page. After it downloaded that utility, it gives us a new section. I'm currently on Windows 10 on this system, so this has chosen Windows 11 Pro from that ISO. It was a multi-version ISO that we downloaded. If you want to inject drivers, you can do that. I am going to say import my drivers from this current system, so you don't have to re-download all your drivers. If you're going to reinstall from scratch, this imports all your Windows 10 drivers into this ISO. If you're on Windows 11 making this, so you can reinstall it on your system again or on another system, this is talking about the drivers on the PC that you're currently using. I'm going to tell it to import mine. We're not using this as a virtual machine, so we don't need that section. And we don't need to copy to Ventor. Right here, you can set your username and password. You don't have to. We can leave it blank for a default user. If you already have one that you want, you can go ahead and type in your username and password here. But since this is just a demo that I'm making, I'm not going to fill that part out. Now we're going to select where we're going to save the finished installation media. I'm going to save it back to my desktop. And that's going to start in the background. And you can just see the progress down here on the PowerShell. All right, and it's finished up. So we can go ahead and close this out. And we've got our patched ISO right here. And from here, you can use anything like Rufus or Balena Etcher. I really like Balena Etcher. If you don't already have it, I'll leave that in the show notes as well. Okay, and from here, we would just select our ISO file, select the flash drive that you want to flash it to, and hit flash. Then you're ready to install it. There you go. Now, if you are on Windows 10 or 11 and you just want to check and see if recall is running, we've got a command right here to see if it's running, and we've got a command right here to disable it. I'm going to leave these in the show notes, so don't worry about just writing it down. Just look in the description so you can copy and paste it. I'm also going to have the information for the Win utility for Chris Titus. You'll definitely want to check after any update Windows 11 does. You're going to have to periodically open up PowerShell or your command prompt, run this command to see if recall's running. If it is, disable it. You can rerun the Win utility to remove it again. I don't know how much of a cat and mouse game this is going to be back and forth with Microsoft just trying to stuff recall down your throat and Copilot all that crap. You know, it's a cat and mouse game fighting it back and forth. But this is all the defense we have right now. And I hope that keeps you and your PC safe. I know a lot of us just don't have the option to fully switch to Linux. It is my daily driver, but for editing videos, I have to use DaVinci Resolve. And there's a couple other pieces of software that I use that require Windows that Linux just doesn't have an alternative to. And yes, I did get DaVinci Resolve on Linux. It's not the same. It doesn't have the same features. It doesn't have the same codecs. And it's all because of licensing. So I hope that helps everybody out. Stay safe out there. Keep recall out of your system. Have a good one. Catch you in the next one.